Be Sherrie. Be Sherrie. My co-host is right there. Natalie, say, stand up, girlfriend. Yes, we have the highest premier podcast here in the world. So we just basically got straight up tips from you to say, shoot your shot. You said just go for it. So we would like to, if possible, for us to get 2 minutes of your time when you have a second after you're done. And you can pitch your book on our podcast and also like tell everyone, all about it. And then we have fun. No, 2 seconds like no time. And we tell you about the book, and then from there we go ahead on and we get a little official drop with you. All right, thank you. Appreciate you.
It's hard to tell them who going to know.
I gotta know where you're
All right, so we just started our podcast.
Yep.
And so people that are trying to pivot into new directions, because that's a lot going on right now, what advice would you have for them to guide them throughout that journey?
I would just tell you to, if you talk about just in the podcast world, or you just mean in general?
It doesn't have to be in general, just pivoting in this space.
Oh, don't be afraid to pivot. Because people be really afraid to pivot. Like, they be stuck on whatever it is that they stuck on. And, they feel like they got a direction. They feel like they got a path. Like I was saying on the stage, your good plan may not be God's plan for you. So certain things might come up in your life that's going to force you to pivot anyway.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to do it. Stop fighting it. Like, just let it go. Let it go.
For sure. So you have a chapter in the book where you talked about connecting with nature and making sure that we get back in tune to that. And I think that's something that's really, really missing. That's a part of my personal mission and motto with my individual brand. So outside of just connecting with nature where we're talking to trees or grounding and things like that where it may be unfamiliar with people, what are some ways that they can really hone into that? Practical ways outside of just connecting outside, kind of getting away from the phones and things like that you talked about.
You have to disconnect in 2024. Like, these phones are literally driving us crazy. Like, we're all in verbally abusive relationships with our smartphones. You know how crazy you gotta be to go online knowing you about to be mad about something?
For sure.
Like literally, like you go online and you know it's something that's gonna piss you off. You know it's something that's gonna frustrate you. You know what bugs me out? When somebody sends me something and you see the headline. The headline might be like, police officers kill 20 black men.
You're going for it.
And you go watch it. Why would you watch
all the
that?
comments.
Why would you do that to yourself? So it's just like, you gotta disconnect, man. You gotta disconnect and just breathe. Like, take a breath. Like I say, go outside and hug a tree, take your shoes off and be barefoot. But sometimes just disconnect and just go take a breath. Period.
For sure. So in this amazing book, Get Honest or Die Lying, what's one of your favorite chapters in this book, and what's one of the key messages that you want to tell our audience and all the audience that's going to watch this?
One of my favorite chapters in the book, probably the language of politics is dead. Like, just talking to different politicians. But no, I'll tell you my favorite chapter. My favorite chapter probably is Father Time. Okay. Just because I feel like men, we don't have enough conversations about the issues we have with our fathers. Because like our fathers are like our first role models. So either the men aren't in our life at all, or they haven't been the best examples. And like I always say, my dad raised me out of fear and not love, but only because he didn't want me to end up, going down the same path he went down and making the same mistakes that he made, even though I still ended up making them. Yeah. So for me, that chapter, Father Time, just because I feel like it's enabling men to open up those relationships with their fathers. Awesome. Yeah.
Absolutely. So with the election coming up, I overheard Pat, she spoke politics over you. And also speaking of pivoting, do you see yourself getting into that space?
I don't know. I mean, I honestly, truly don't know. Like I said, I'm open. You know what I mean? Because you just don't know how God gonna use you in the future.
Well, I hear you. Whenever you speak about politics, it's like I'm very receptive to that. So can you give some words to our podcast and our audience to get out to the polls this November?
I quote Nina Turner all the time. If you may not do politics, but politics is gonna ultimately do you. And I don't tell people who to vote for. I did at one point in my life, and I kind of regret that. I'd rather just tell you who I'm voting for and why I'm choosing to vote for them. And then you go out there and you do your own research, and you decide who is speaking to your interests, who's speaking to the issues you care about, and then you go make your decision. But the quote Nina Turner again, You may not do politics, but politics will do you. You're going to look around at your community, you're going to look around at your town, and wonder why all this stuff is changing.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's because of who y'all put in office.
That's right,
I hear
y'all.
that
So
loud
y'all
and
heard it
clear.
first here for Charlamagne Tha God. And if you out there lying and not being truthful, then shame on you, because it is time to get honest and stop lying, y'all.
That's right.
Make sure that y'all purchase this book. I have it. We have our official signed copy. We can't wait to dive in and read it. And thank you so much for your time. We
Thank
appreciate
you for
it.
having me.
you.
Peace to the planet, Charlamagne Tha God here. You already know what it is. Or maybe you don't. But if you know, you know. And that's why we're here. It's the If You Know, You Know podcast. Peace.